Hey guys, it's Archon. Recently, a lot of wizards have been switching over to the Archon build just because it's more efficient for solo farming, paragon, and legendaries. And so I just want to make a quick video showing you how cheap you can actually put together a beginning Archon set. A lot of people think that you need to save up a bunch of money, but I want to show you that you can actually do it shortly after hitting level 60. So we're going to be trying to put a Archon set together with a 1 million gold budget, and hopefully it'll be able to farm MP-1, even though you'd probably rather farm on MP-0 with that low of a budget. So to start things off, we'll get a weapon. If I have 10 million or more to spend, I'd get a one-handed black weapon and a triumvirate. But since we have less, we're going to get two-hander. They're a little bit cheaper, and they have more lifesteal on them, which is great for Archon. So we're going to put 30% of our budget into this, which is 300,000. We're going to try not to spend that much, but we'll see what is out there. We're going to try to find a good deal. So on the weapon, we want crit hit damage and lifesteal. You can look for a socket instead, but especially on two-handed weapons, you almost always find better deals with crit hit damage, in my opinion. We're going to sort by DPS, and we're just going to look for a good deal. Like right here, you can see for 48,000, we get a damage with 194 crit hit damage. A weapon rather, and no stats on it unfortunately, but it still looks like a really good deal. We're going to scroll through, see if any of the other ones have stats. If not, that's just for the damage and crit damage we get on that. That just seems like a really good deal for 48,000. Now here we get 179 intelligence, but it just doesn't seem worth the extra 150,000 and the loss of crit hit damage. So we're just going to keep scrolling really quick, looking at these ones with the high crit hit damage to see if any of them have some decent stats on them. We have a Warmonger here, but it doesn't look like we're going to find any with really great stats, and so I think we're going to go ahead and take this one for 48,000. Now it's not a black weapon, but the reason you'd want a black weapon or a weapon without elemental damage added to it is if you're going to have items that have plus to elemental damage. And with this 1 million set, we're probably not going to have that, and so we'll go ahead and get this one, and I think that'll be great for us with 194% crit damage. That'll take care of a lot of our crit damage. So now that we have the weapon, we only spent a little bit on it. We're going to get the amulet next, and I'm actually going to set 125,000 budget for the amulet. Usually I go about 10%. I'm going to go a little bit higher just because we saved so much on that weapon. So on the amulet, we're going to try to get crit hit damage, crit chance, and intelligence, but something tells me we're going to be a little under budget to get all three of those stats. So we might have to go average damage or not do crit hit damage. Okay, so it looks like we can get a little bit of each of those stats, but we're probably not going to get too much. I'm guessing we're going to be low on the intelligence here. Oh, actually, a couple here with really good intelligence. This one actually has 5% life, a little bit of average damage. We're just low on crit damage there, or crit chance there. See if any of these have good crit chance. Crit chance can be the hardest thing to get up when we have a two-hander because you get a lot more crit chance for a one-hand and offhand. You see one of these has 7.5, but we only get 97 intelligence there, 44 crit damage. Let's put in some more parameters here. We'll say 6 crit chance, we'll say we want 90 intelligence, and we'll say we want 40 crit hit damage, and we'll see that actually only gives us these two right here. So we do 52 and 6 with 121, or we can do 44 and 7.5 with 97 intelligence. And even though that intelligence is a little low, I think I'm going to go with that just because we need the crit chance more than anything. And it's only 100,000, the other one's 125,000. So next we'll get some rings. I'm going to lower this down to, we'll say 80,000 for the rings. We need to save a lot for the chest because we're going to get a Tyrael's Might, and usually those only go for 200,000 and up. So we're probably just going to have to grab the cheapest one, but still end up spending a big portion of our budget. And the reason we're going Tyrael's Might is for the movement speed. So on the rings, we're going to look for crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and intelligence. The reason I don't go attack speed is just because it's pretty expensive for how much damage you get, and you don't need attack speed for Archon. You just need a lot of damage, a set amount of defense, and a good amount of lifesteal. So we're not going to be able to get a lot of crit hit damage, it doesn't look like, with this much crit chance, but we really want that crit chance. So looks like we might be able to get 4.5 crit chance. 78, 26, 71, 26. So these two look like our best bets here, and this one's only 30,000. It's the cheapest one on here, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. We saw before that none of them had that much crit damage on them. And then one more ring. We could take a quick peek over to vitality. We haven't gotten any vitality yet on our set. And this one right here actually has 37 crit hit damage, which is really nice. Let's see if any of them have a high crit chance. There's just one with 4.5. It does have a socket, but we lose a lot of crit hit damage there. So let's go ahead and grab this one. It's 75,000, but it has a good amount of bite. And that 37 crit hit damage is nice and has enough crit chance. So we'll buy that. Next we're going to get in Andariels. I think Andariels are the best way to go for Archon. Even when I'm building like 100 mil sets, or a couple 100 mil sets, I still go Andariels. I think they're really undervalued right now, and so we can get a good one, usually for about 100,000. And we can get some all-res on there too. If not all-res, we'll look at all-res, but we'll also look at armor. Those are two of the stats we want the most, and they're usually pretty cheap. Armor's a little bit cheaper. But we'll say 38 all-res, we'll see what we find. We do have one here, it just got posted, but it does have 24% more fire damage taken, and that might just be a little too high, unfortunately. So let's just take a quick peek. If we go up to 125,000, do we get anything else? No. Let's see, we'll drop down to 28 all-res, and we have a couple other ones here. This has 9% and 16% fire damage taken with 35 all-res, or 8% and only 7 fire damage taken, but only 29 all-res. But we do lose 1% attack speed there. It's kind of a toss-up. Obviously this one's really nice, but that 24% fire damage taken might just eat us up when we get into Molten Packs. You can usually avoid fire when you're an Archon, but I think to be safe we're going to take this one right here with 80,000. And we'll find some other pieces that have extra armor on it. Ideally you want about 10 armor to every 1 all-res you get, because the higher you get up on that, the more diminishing returns you get, and 10 points of armor gets the same to you as 1 point of all-res. So we have the we have the Andariels now. We're gonna get Ethereal's Might. This is a great way to get 12% more movement speed, because you really want 24% movement speed for Archon. The other way you get it is Lacunes, but since we're not gonna be able to get crit chance on Lacunes with this budget, we'd rather go Ethereal's Might. You can also get it on Inna's Pants if you want, but you have to have a pretty high budget. We actually have some pretty cheap Ethereals up right now. Usually you have to spend at least 200,000, but we got kind of lucky here. Oh, I forgot to put intelligence as the main stat. It's probably, but we do have this one right here, 176 intelligence. It's a little low, but we can get 189 intelligence, but we pay another 45,000 for it. It's probably not worth it. Let me just really quickly put intelligence in here. We'll say 170 intelligence. Yeah, it looks like it's just this one that just recently got posted. 13 intelligence, probably just not worth it. If one of these had vitality or something along with it, then that would definitely be worth it, but I think we'll just get that first one. We can find some more intelligence somewhere else. So go ahead and buy that. Okay, so we started with 450,000 here. We're now down to 967,000. So we've spent about half of our budget. We've gotten the jewelry and the weapon, which can be kind of expensive, the chest and the helm. Let's go ahead and get the gloves now. You can actually usually get a halfway decent pair of trifecta gloves. Believe it or not, I don't know why I'm typing gloves in right there. I'm not thinking. Trifecta gloves for about 100,000. So we put 125,000 in because we've been pretty good at staying under budget. We'll say 60 intelligence. We should leave attack speed blank for the time being. Crit chance is what we want the most of, so I'm going to say, we'll say 7.5 because that's what we're going to be low on. And then some crit hit damage. And nothing comes up, so we're going to have to lower down this crit chance. Actually, let's just get rid of that. And we'll lower the intelligence down to 50. Let's see what we can find. Get 60. Oh, that also has some vitality. Only 3.5 crit chance, so it probably won't do. This is 723 and 5, 517 and 4.5. Oh, 721 and 7. This is probably going to be the one. That crit damage is a little low, but then again, we have a lot of crit damage already. In fact, I wonder if we could get some vitality instead of crit damage, because 20 isn't going to do that much for us anyway. and we can get over here we have 172 intelligence and 80 vitality for only 15,000. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, wow. What we can get without that crit damage is pretty awesome, and it's only 20% crit damage, so we're not losing all that much. It's I think it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to put in some higher parameters in here. We're going to say 8.5 crit. We'll say, let's see, I'll say 70 intelligence and 60 vitality, and we'll leave attack speed blank still. We have some Sage's Gestures here, which are always nice because they have the extra armor. We still have a lot of gloves to look through here, so we'll just start with the high intelligence ones, I guess. Let me see how much crit chance we can get still. Dang, still some with 10 crit chance. It's 122 intelligence, 60 vitality. Sometimes just taking off one of those key stats that people are really looking for can make a big difference. I really like those. 10 crit chance, 6 attack speed, 122 intelligence, and a little bit of vitality. Of course, the more time you spend looking through items, the better deals you're going to get. We're not going to spend a ton of time just because I want to be able to make this video a reasonable length. I would like to get Sage's Gestures just for that extra armor, but it doesn't look like it's going to be worth what we lose, so we're going to have to find the extra armor somewhere else. And I'm going to go ahead and get these gloves right here, because those are looking sexy. The crit chance, again, is really what you need when you're getting a two-hander, because two-handers give you a lot of crit damage, but no crit chance, where an offhand you can get crit chance on. So we got the gloves now. Let's see, we can go ahead and get the bracers. So bracers, we're going to get intelligence, vitality. I'll start them off at 60. We'll try to get 5 crit chance, some all res, and that's about all we need on there. You could get some pickup radius on the bracers, but since we're doing a budget set, we're going to avoid doing pickup radius for now. I'll say 100,000 budget for this. And let's see, crit hit chance, we can actually get 6% crit hit chance if we want to. I'm sorry, you hear my dog barking in the background. But I think it's all res that we're going to want to turn up a little bit here. Let's see, we could say at least 40 all res. We'll do at least 50. We'll just look at those ones. We'll see if these ones, this one's really cheap, 83 int, 78 vi. Do any of these have 6% crit? No, we're going to have to go with the 5% crit. So we're mostly just looking for the one with the best all res and stat combination. Let me pause this video and go yell at my dog real fast. Alright, sorry about that. So all these gloves are pretty similar. I see just one of them stands out. Looks like, man, these two are just identical, but this one right here, probably the best of all of them. We could lose a little bit of all res to get 20 more armor, but it just doesn't seem worth it. Some of these are a little bit cheaper, but we lose the all res on there. So it'd be between these 70 ones and the top ones. I'm just trying to decide how much money we have left to spend, and it looks like we have about 400,000. So it takes down to 300,000. We still have 4 pieces left to get. So I'm actually going to get these 70,000 ones just to save a little bit of money. So let's see what we still have left. We still need to get shoulders, a belt, pants, and boots. So let's go ahead and get the belt now, and then we'll try that all on and see what our stats are at. I didn't used to try on the pieces halfway through, but I find that you get a much better set if you see what you're working with about halfway through building it. So we have 75,000. We're going to get intelligence, vitality, and all res. We can get a little bit more intelligence, vitality on our belts. We're going to turn these up to 70 and 70. I'll stick this at 48 all res. We do need to get some extra armor somewhere. Looks like we have some extra armor right there. 204 bonus armor. Some of these go really high vitality. This right here is nice because it has bonus armor, 77 intelligence is a little low, but 129 vitality. It's only 50,000. So I think we might go with that. We can get a little bit more intelligence, but we can't get much more vitality than that. And these ones with really high intelligence, none of them have good vitality anyways. Let me just see. All res is the only thing I'm concerned with. Let me see, what was the all res on this one? 54 is a bit low. So let me just take a quick glance at some of these high all res ones. You know what? I think the bonus armor is going to make it worth it, because having 200 extra armor on there is like having 20 extra. I'm sorry about that. Oh, but some of these have just much higher armor because they're higher item level. Oh, and this one has 125 strength on it as well. So we get a lot more defense for this one. It's only 15,000. We just lose a lot of stat points, unfortunately. But it might be worth it. Dang, a lot of these have high strength on them. Just go overlooked a lot of the times. Just because people forget that it's extra armor, or they undervalue armor to begin with. For 15,000, let's actually take that one. It has just as much armor as the other one. A lot more all res. We get about 30 more all res. And we're just losing a bit of vitality, but we can get that on the pants. So we're going to go ahead and send these to the stash. We'll see what our stats are at. I'll tell you guys what I'm thinking we should have our defenses at, and then we'll see how far away we are. So for all res, I think we should be at 450 unbuffed. Armor, I want to be around 3,000. Health, I want to be above 30,000. Probably about 35,000. At least with my paragon. And when I test this set out to make up for the fact that I have 83 paragon, I'll take off my pants, and that'll make more than make up for all the stats I'm getting from paragon. Alright, so let's put all this on real fast. Our defense is going to be a little low because we have 3 pieces of armor that all can get all res on them, and armor. So damage up to 55,000. It's not too bad so far. So let's see. We're going to get a little bit more all res from int. This is with glass cannon on, and just to be safe, we'll do it with glass cannon on. So all res, actually on second thought, let's look at where we're at without glass cannon. Because 450 with glass cannon will be fine for a budget build. You probably want more defenses later, but to get started, that'll be fine. So all res, really, if we got 75 more all res, we'd be fine. Because with the extra int we're going to be getting, that'll take us up to 450 easy. Armor, we're going to want about 1100 more armor. It shouldn't be a problem. We can get just from the pants and shoulders alone, we can actually get that. Let's see, our health is going to be pretty low. 20,000 actually isn't too bad. So 100 vitality is 3,500. 200 vitality is 35. Yeah, so 200 vitality is 7,000 health. So we're going to be looking at about 400 more vitality if you want to be safe. It's a lot of vite, but we have to get it on all the pieces. 350 would be enough, but 400 would be ideal. So yeah, actually I'll put 350 because it is a budget set. We can go a little bit low on everything, of course. Our crit chance is good. 43.5 is hard to hit with a two-hander. Everything else is looking pretty good. We have a 4.7 lifesteal, and we'll have our 24% movement speed once we get some boots with movement speed. So we're going to go ahead and forego all res on the pants so we can get some extra armor and a lot of vitality. Let's see how much we have left to spend. So we're going down until we have 450, which means we have 340 left to spend, and we have 3 pieces left. So that's over 100,000 per piece, which is really nice. I'm actually going to put 150,000 on the pants because you just get a lot of stats on the pants, so I think it's worth spending a little bit on them. And we're going to put armor. I'd say at least 250. We might lower that if we don't find much. Vitality and intelligence. Keeping it simple. We can look for sockets as well, but usually the best ones don't have sockets. So let's go vitality, see how much we can get on there. I think we're going to be able to get a lot of vitality. So let's for vitality, let's start with 190. We might move that up. And then we'll see with 190 vitality, how much intelligence can we get? So we'll say 70 intelligence. And then let's look at how much vitality we can get with 70 intelligence. So you can see people put some pretty awesome pants on here when they don't have all res. Because usually people don't want pants without all res. So that gives us a ton of armor, and the 94 strength is also bonus armor, and then we get some life regen. 94 intelligence isn't bad from what we were comparing it to, so that's probably going to be the one we buy. It's 100,000, but I think it's worth it. This has a little physical res. Physical res is good because that's what reflect damage does. Really, we'd have to see a higher int roll. There we have a little bit higher. Oh, it is only 50,000, but we lose a ton of armor. We lose about 100 armor, I believe. Yeah, over 100 armor. And, oh, here we have a couple sockets. And that's some good armor, and it's a little bit cheaper. So we actually might go with that one right there. Because those extra sockets make up for the stat points we would have lost, and it's cheaper. I'm actually surprised it hasn't been bought yet. But again, people want all res on the pants, so you take off all res and you can get some pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, let's get that. This pants looking good. We still have a lot for the boots and shoulders, so we'll keep 150 as the max buyout. Goes boots. Boots, we probably want to get a little bit of all res on them. Let's see how much of our vitality we knocked out. We did a 220 vitality, and we're probably going to socket at least one of those, so we'll say 250 vitality, which means we still need another 100 vitality. So I think we're just going to get all of that on the shoulders, though, because we're asking for a lot on the boots. The other option, of course, would be get all the all-res on the shoulders, also an option. So all-res on the boots, we're just going to say 38. Sometimes those low all-res ones you can get really good deals on. Vitality, we're just going to take off. We might put it back on later if there's some good deals. Intelligence, let's set to 90, see if we have any luck there. Okay, and we have some firewalkers here. These firewalkers are actually really cheap, 60,000. 45 all-res, he just got posted. 157 int is pretty nice. And none of these other ones are really comparing. So I think we're going to buy those because if we don't, someone else is going to buy them pretty soon. I just want to check to make sure none of these other ones have vitality on them. Oh, we do have 58 vitality here. We have to pay a little bit more for them. Oh, yeah, 40 all-res. We only lose 5 all-res. We lose 37 int, though. And then a little bit of armor. Firewalkers. Yeah, let's get these. Just because they're cheaper, we'll just have to load up on Vit on the shoulders. So now we have a lot to spend on shoulders. We actually have, let's see, almost 200,000. So we'll say, looks like we have 180,000-ish to spend on shoulders. Usually I wouldn't spend this much, but we just happen to have a lot left. So I'm going to say 38 all-res still, because that's about how much we still need. I'll say 70 intelligence, because again, we're going to try to get a lot of vite. And at first, we're going to look for vitality and life percent. And we'll compare that to just having vitality. 1% life percent is probably a little bit less than 10 vitality for this set. If you were to have 35,000 health, then 1% life percent would do the exact same thing as 10 vitality. So it's usually what I use to calculate. And let's sort. We actually have a lot that came up. I didn't think we'd have this much. Looks like we'll be able to raise some of these. So we're going to say at least 7% life, at least 80 vitality, at least 80 intelligence. Is that too much? We do have some, even with 71 all-res. It's one of the more expensive ones, but 9% life, 83 vitality. Again, at this point, we only need about 100 vitality, so having 83 and 9% life, it's more like 150 vitality for us. It costs a lot, but we have a lot left to spend. We might as well spend our whole 1 million budget. So let's see. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and get that. We get that extra strength for some more armor, so our armor is going to be great. The all-res is going to push us over. We're going to be more than defensive enough with this set. So now we have shoulders, boots, pants. Those are our last 3 pieces. Guys, send us the stash. We'll try them on, see what our stats are. And then I'm going to take off my pants and test out the set. Because I know people were a little bothered that I had some paragon on my last video. And it's a good point. I do get stats from paragon. And so I want to show you guys what it would be like if you just hit level 60. So with the pants, we're at 60,000 damage. It is a little bit low. Fully buffed, it puts us up at 81. I try to get over 80,000, so we're hitting it right there. It'll be enough for MP-1, I think. Definitely enough for MP-0, which again, MP-0 is where you would really farm with this set. Our all-res are over 500 unbuffed. Our armor, let's see, without energy armor is at 3,300. It's great. Our health's at about 34,000, which is about where we want it. Let's take off our pants. Takes us down to, well, with pinpoint, we're at 77,000 damage. 25,000 health is a bit low, but of course you're getting a lot more vitality than you are intelligence from these pants. We're losing armor from the pants too, which we wouldn't lose. That I don't gain from Paragon, or at least I gain very little of it. And so, yeah, having my pants off is doing more than making up for my Paragon. You'll be more buffed than this with the Paragon on. Sorry, with 0 Paragon and the pants on. So the glass cannon, I'm sorry, we're actually up to 86,000. So yeah, a little bit better than I thought. With the pants, we're up to 91,000. But again, we have to account for Paragon. So 86,000 damage, about 3,300 armor, and 450 all res, even with glass cannon. Again, 450 is right where I try to get. We got some good crit hit damage with our scoundrel out. It's up to 48.5. Again, it's really hard to get with a two-hander, but we did it. And 4.7 lifesteal is enough. Anyways, I think this is a pretty solid set for 1 million. I'm going to go ahead and test it out. We'll go to keep depth level 2. It's usually a good place to start an Archon run. And we'll see what the set's like. We have 24% movement speed. We forewent pickup radius. That's something you get. Oh, we have a leap pack right away. Sorry about that lag. Excuse me. Right when you get into a game, you get a little bit of lag. And you see they're not really doing much damage to us at all. We're pretty tanky here. We got a splody guy that really wants to kill me here. But yeah, you can see it kills pretty fast. It's usually pretty hard when you start off in the leap pack to keep Archon up, so we'll see. It looks like we're getting some mobs here. I'm going to pick off those splody guys quick. See, I'll be making another video later this week, hopefully tomorrow, just explaining the Archon build in general, going over what stats you want to use, or what skills you want to use, where you want to farm based on your damage and all that. My Archon build has 400k damage fully buffed, and I still farm on MP-1 a lot of the times. I just use a few skills that help me get through it a little bit faster. Right now I'm using improved Archon and pinpoint on energy armor. But yeah, as you can see, our 1 million set, handling MP-1 just fine. MP-0 would cut through even quicker, and I think it'd be a bit more efficient. You can see even when we're getting hit by mortar and whatnot, our lifesteal is more than making up for the damage we're taking. So again, this is with my pants off, so more than makes up for the 83 paragon. You would have a little bit less intelligence than this, so maybe 1,000 less damage, but you'd have a lot more health than this with no paragon and those pants on. You can see we have up to a minute on our Archon already. We have no problem keeping our Archon up. Things are dying faster, and for 1 million gold, you're going to farm a lot better in Archon than you would in Critical Mass or any other build, really. You're going to get Paragon a lot faster. If you want to, you could get Andariels with a socket, and then you could put a Ruby in there, get some experience quicker. If you can get a Hellfire Ring, it'll be even faster leveling. But really, the cool thing about Archon is a 1 million set probably farms at about 50% the rate of a 1 billion set. Maybe even a little bit more than 50%. Like, it's not a huge difference between 1 million and 1 billion, which is a little depressing for people like me who have over 1 billion gold worth of gear. But when you're just starting out, it's good news. You can make a budget Archon set and still get Paragon really quickly. I think this is the way to go. If you play mostly solo, if you play on low MPs, and you're concerned about farming Paragon and legendaries quickly, I think Archon's the way to go. Yeah, you can just see it just cuts through stuff. And with a 1 million budget, you could probably even do it a little bit cheaper. You can get started and then just start making some upgrades from there. But the cool thing is you don't need that much defense. Archon gives you a lot of defense. So you can see with Archon right now we have up to 4,300 armor. We have 650 all res now, which is over what you'd have for a CM build usually. And that's with glass cannon on. And again, without my pants. So yeah, even keep depth level 3, which isn't as populated, we're having no problem keeping Archon buff getting refreshed. So yeah, there you go. That's how you can make a 1 million Archon set and start poning MP-1. Again, do MP0, you'll pwn it even quicker. I hope this video will help you guys get started right when you hit level 60, and I'll have another video for you soon showing you how the Archon build works, how to choose what skills you're going to use based on your gear, and how to choose what MP to farm on. So thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and I'll have another video for you soon.